It was my goal to write a pro-life story with a fresh angle. I think the way we think about marriage and the way we think about life is very subconscious in culture and how we react to it. And so to write a culture and relationships where life is discovered, I thought would be a fresh approach to then talking about, oh, let's just talk about abortion, or let's just talk about life, taking an approach from discovering life and then the need to protect it.
When I read the script, I loved it. And I think that anyone, no matter what their political views would be or what their stance would be on, pro-life, pro-choice, I think that they could really enjoy this film.
I believe the story is actually quite relevant for today. Sanctity of life is relevant as long as there's life, so.
This story couldn't be any more relevant. We are guaranteed to have trials as we protect truth. And if we're to be sanctified in the truth, it's worth protecting. So clearly today, those lives that don't have a voice is one of our highest callings as followers of Jesus Christ.
Unborn children are not as protected as much as they used to be. There's more and more people are accepting of abortions and things like that, and so it's becoming a much more of a cultural norm. If you didn't plan it, if it's gonna not be a good decision or if it's gonna hurt you or whatever way, then just get rid of it. And so being able to kind of really impress on people the sanctity of life and hey, there is no good reason, there is no way, there's no reason to ever get rid of a child.
Are you videoing? This is awkward.
The first script started out about a year ago. I could not tell you where the idea first began. The original story was incredibly simplistic with very boring characters and basically took place in about 10 pages. So I think it's come a long way.
I felt like Kate and I were almost the same person. I felt very comfortable stepping into her shoes. She's feeling a bit off, and then she finds out that she is breaking her size, which means that she is gaining weight, which is a very, very dangerous thing in this society. And ultimately, she is able to figure out that she is actually carrying a baby. And that is not something that happens in this society. People don't have their own children anymore. There are no parents, there are no babies, there's no families other than the pairings that take place when you come of age. Until this started happening, she was a rule follower. I think she didn't really question things, just went along with what was expected of her. And so her getting into this situation was a huge growing point for her as an individual. I also think she's very introspective, and that's something that I really connected with, because she doesn't say a lot. I think when I went through the script, I counted up the number of scenes that she was in, and out of, I think there's 75 scenes in the whole film, she's in 51 of them. She talks in 14, so she doesn't say a lot. In those scenes that she talks in, it's very minimal, which that just shows me there's a lot happening up in here, and so I wanted to really make sure that you could see that.
My character's name is Steven. Basically, everything's kind of good. I have a really nice job. I'm a demolition expert, which is actually pretty prestigious in this society, so it's a pretty kosher job. It's a great character for me because there's a lot of vulnerability there, which is fun to play around with. Truth be told, I'm not in that similar position yet. I'm not married, don't have a family, but it's good to be able to kind of put myself into that kind of position where I can see what it's like for a little bit to be in that situation as kind of a scared father, scared for my wife, scared for my child, that kind of thing.
Sorry.
I was like, I looked right at you and I was like, no, he's not on the ground.
Jonathan is a soldier, and he serves as, I suppose, the antagonist of the story, but he definitely has a troubled past of his own. He's believed the lie all along, and once he got a glimpse of the truth, I think Jonathan was afraid of it. He didn't want to believe it. The lie was more comfortable.
I think I would sum up Dr. Matthews in a way that he finds himself in a world of outside forces that are pressing in, and instead of succumbing to it, he finds his place in it, to guide those that the Lord has sovereignly chosen to bring along his path, to provide that next step out, and in this case, in the storyline, to find a way of escape, a way in which to preserve every human life.
You ready to roll?
I'm ready to roll.
How are you doing?
Favorite location visually was the cliffs, because it was gorgeous. And I didn't know Alabama had places like that.
What I find is important is kind of cleaner, wide frames. I like to see where the audience looks. I like to see what they see. So if we have a character in the foreground, I want something happening in the background, or if we have action in the background, I want the audience looking there instead of the foreground. So it's kind of controlling where the audience looks, just sticking with a lot of wide shots and kind of some natural lighting. We supplement it with bounces and things like that, but a lot of available light is coming into handy.
I think for me in pre-production, location scouting was most difficult, and it gave me the most grief, only because you kind of need all access to a location. You don't need to just be able to get in for an hour, or you need power and bathrooms and, you know, places to charge batteries and not have strangers walking by. And in this movie it's really difficult because I can't see any cars, so that caused just a whole nother range of issues. So I would say for me, the hardest part was the location scouting.
We have to shoot 16 scenes today. How many have we done, Handel?
We've done 2.
What time is it?
12:45.
It's 12. Wow. Whoa.
According to that clock, I don't know if that's accurate.
When was the call time?
7? I mean, we were in the car
okay
by
that we're
7.
driving. Sorry.
This is our day of struggles. I know there were a few hiccups on especially the last day, and that had to do with the truck deciding that it didn't want to run and then getting stuck in the mud, and then the battery died or something.
Working on this production, I've definitely learned to be more patient. The verse, be quick to hear, slow to speak, and slow to anger really applies to this. It's important just to have a good attitude on set, and I love everyone's attitude. We've all been getting along so well. It's been a pleasure. I really couldn't ask for a better group of people on this. I'm really glad that I have such wonderful people working with me.
So going into production, I knew exactly who I wanted to be on the crew. God really blessed us in that the crew gelled immediately and was able to talk to each other about, okay, this is how we can do things better, and just with a really, really good attitude through the whole thing. It was really interesting with me working with Handel. I've never worked with a DP before, so it kind of took a little while for me to learn his language and him to learn my language, but I think we got to a really good place, and I would love to work with him again. He's really professional. I really enjoyed working with Robert. We had him day 2, and he was playing the doctor, and he's such a joy to be around, and so very encouraging and very, very professional, incredibly professional. The just careful detail he gives to every nuance of the script, and okay, do you want it to go this direction or this direction? He's a fantastic character builder, and it was a pleasure to work with him. Working with Bethany was an absolute joy as well. She was so patient with me as we went through different stages of, okay, now you're going to get yelled at. Okay, now you're going to discover you're pregnant. Okay. So we went through a lot of ups and downs together, but she did such a good job and was so patient with me as I grow as a director and learn how to direct actors, and not just direct actors, but directing actors to their style. Everyone has a personal style, and see, okay, how does that vocabulary react to one actor or to another actor? So I greatly enjoyed working with Bethany.
This has been the best production crew ever. I've had such a blast working on set with everyone. I feel like every time I try to describe any one person, I'm just like, oh, they're the best. Oh, this person's best, they're the best, because everyone who is here doing their job is the best. Everyone's here because they believe in this project. They believe in this film, they believe in this industry, they believe in this message, and everyone is just bringing their A game every single day, all the time, whether we're shooting for 10 hours or 16 hours like today.
It was wonderful working with the other actors. They are very good, spot on. Being able to have someone to bounce off of like that is very helpful. So I really enjoyed working with those guys. They're great.
The people have been incredible. It's like I walked into a second family from the beginning with Katherine at the helm, a young team, a team that's very excited. I love just watching the interactions of those who've already worked together. I think some of the highlights behind the scenes have been just getting to know them and hearing about their walk with the Lord. I've really come to admire and respect each and every person that is on this crew.
I've gotten a chance to work very closely with Will and Handel, our DP, and both of them have been incredibly patient in helping me learn all about gaffing for the film. It's been a lot of fun so far. And definitely through the experience of not only just working with them, but everyone else involved, it's definitely something I'm very excited and interested in pursuing in the future.
This is probably the third or fourth production I've worked on, and it's been a really great time. We've been able to film in a lot of great locations, filming from that mountain to an abandoned factory. It's been really great.
Production has been awesome. This has been a really, really fun set. I've been on indie films, I've been on studio films, and I really love doing indie films is because it's much more relaxed, much more laid back. Everybody gets to just have fun. It's like working with your best friends for 2 weeks. You know, everybody's very encouraging. There's never been a, hey, like you need to do better at your job. So being in an encouraging environment where people are always just really helpful and supportive, and oh, by the way, like still hold you to a really high quality standard is really fun project to be a part of.
So I've worked on another feature which was non-Christian, and there was cussing and smoking, and you know, people get mad and there's hurt feelings, and it's just sad. It is just grieving to the Holy Spirit. Working on this production, I've just felt love and happiness from so many crew members, and I'm really blessed to be working with these people, and I just hope that we can work together again someday.
In one word, how are you feeling today?
I would say, accomplished.
Overwhelmed. Satisfied. One word, how are you feeling today?
Positively troglodyte.
Okay.
Tired.
Exhausted.
Bittersweet, because tomorrow's my last day.
Oh.
I don't have one word. I'm ready to plan. How about that?
I've learned a good bit. Yeah, I try to pick up what I can on every film that I work on, and I've learned quite a bit here.
Just family values in general, just the importance of family, I think is really kind of degraded in society the past several years, and so it's kind of a good chance to see like how important family really is. And family is not there to make us feel good or to prop us up or to make life special for us. Family is there for us to be a part of their lives and for us to serve them.
Every life is worth something. You can't put a price on it. It's always to be protected, and that's what this story's about.
Right now there is very much so an attack on life, especially life that is not born yet at this point. And so we are showing the other side, and that life is worth fighting for, and it's worth the struggle, and it's worth the risk to protect at any cost.